members who put together our posters, programs, social media announcements, and distributing advertisement materials in the area. Would all of you please stand? The entire band is wonderful about helping to set up and break down our set after rehearsals and concerts. Thanks to all of you. And thank you to our amazing technical magicians, Jesse, Mark, and Nathan. Our band consists of volunteer members of all ages, from Austin and Dripping Springs to Canyon Lake, New Braunfels, and from San Marcos, Wimberley to Blanco. And I think we have a few members now even from San Antonio. If you have played a band instrument in high school or college, please consider joining us. We are able to offer these free band concerts to the community thanks to donations from organizations such as the Wimberley Civic Club and the Wimberley Lions Club, and from matching grants from businesses. We are most grateful for the donations from supporters such as yourself, who are very generous. You can support us by donating through our website, using the QR code on a program, or mailing in a donation using the form on the back page of your program. Of course, cash is always welcome. We have baskets and entry if you wish to donate that way. Our next concert will be here in First Baptist on Saturday, November 23rd at 2 p.m. Now I would like to introduce Dr. Manuel Arambla and the Hill Country Community Band. We open all of our concerts with our national anthem. Would you please stand if you're able?
Hello, good afternoon. Thank you all for being here. The piece we just played is titled Americans We. If you notice in the program, it's all about celebrating America. We have an election in 30 days, actually. So make sure you're registered to vote. I don't know if the deadline has passed, but if you're registered to vote, make sure you go vote, because if not, somebody else will speak for you, and that'll be me, because I always vote in every election. So make sure you do. So that was Americans We. It was a very popular march by Henry Fillmore. It was published in 1929, and it was premiered at the Cincinnati Zoo, and it's actually one of the most classic marches out there. And Fillmore dedicated it to all of us. All right, so we're going to continue on with the program. Next, we're going to be doing a slow piece, but a very beautiful one. It's titled Shenandoah. Now, Shenandoah is a very old, very popular folk tune here in the United States, and I'm just going to read my notes. Right? So the Shenandoah River, so it's actually a river, and the valley that bears its name are located in Virginia. It is claimed that the river and the valley were named in the 1750s by the Cherokee as a friendly tribute to a visiting Iroquois chief named Shenandoah. Some claim that the region was named not by the Cherokee, but by the Seneto Indians of the Virginia Valley. In the Seneto tradition, Shenandoah means daughter of the moon. The origins of the folk song's name include one of a roving trader in love with a daughter of an Indian chief. The rover tells the chief of his intent to take the girl with him far to the west across the Missouri River. The composer writes, "I was inspired by the freedom and beauty of the folk melody and by the natural images evoked by the words, especially the image of a river. I was less concerned with the sound of a rolling river than with its life-affirming energy, which is its timelessness." So this beautiful arrangement was done by Frank Tekeli. He was a professor of composition at the University of California, Los Angeles, for a very long time. I think he was also at University of Southern California as well, and he just recently retired. So here is Shenandoah. Thank you. That's a very beautiful arrangement. Very pretty. All right, next we're gonna keep on going, and next we have a piece titled "The Suite of Old American Dances" by Robert Russell Bennett. Now, this is a very classic band piece. So this was, let me see. The original title was Electric Park, which was an amusement park Bennett went to while growing up in Kansas City. It was inspired after the composer heard a performance by the Goldman Band in 1948. Each movement is based on a dance from the beginning of the 20th century. And so Robert Russell Bennett was a 20th century composer and arranger as well. And he actually acquired his education during a time when many composers were doing what we call avant-garde music. So they were doing atonal music, which doesn't really have tonality, kind of devoid of melody most of the time, but not Robert Russell Bennett. He said that he was going to stick to traditional composition, and so filled with a lot of melodies and very much in the tonal Western tradition. And so this is one such example. This piece has 5 movements. All right, the first one is Cakewalk, the second one is Scottish, the third one is the Western one-step, the fourth one is a Wallflower Waltz, and then it ends with a rag. This is one of those compositions that it's a classic for the wind repertoire. So it's a fun one, and I hope you enjoy it. And so it is 5 movements long, so it'll take about anywhere between 18 to 20 minutes. Thank you, hope you enjoy it. I had heard that piece. I'm gonna talk a little bit so I can let the band breathe a little bit. So I always, growing up, I always had teachers give me used CDs of like military bands, and because they would get them for free because schools get them for free, and I guess they didn't want them, so I would take them. So I still have them. So this was one piece that I would always listen to. To be honest, I didn't care much for it at first. I was like, I don't know, I guess it's okay. But you know what? Somebody requested it in the band, which was Pat, by the way. It's one of her favorite pieces. And so I thought, okay, sure, I'll give it a chance. I love it. I love it now. So I have a speaker, and I'm always listening to it. So I have it almost memorized. Such a great piece. I love it. I love melodic music. I love music that just has melodies and just so whistleable, and you can just whistle it down the street. So congratulations to the band. This is quite a difficult piece. So they did 5 movements of it. Congratulations, band. So yeah, that was one piece that grew on me. The next one also kind of grew on me too. It's titled October. It's by Eric Whitacre. Now, just a little bit of background on this piece. This piece was premiered on May 14th, 2000. And of course, we're performing it because we are, after all, in the month of October. And so I'm going to explain a little bit what a college consortium is. I'm going to be talking so they can rest a little. So in the college band world, we have all these great band directors with great egos, and they all want to be the first one to premiere new band music. They want to have their name attached to that one piece. And so, they usually hire composers to write a piece for that university. But these composers charge a lot, and very often these band departments don't have a lot of money. So they put together what's called a consortium of colleges, and basically they all, put money in, but somebody has to organize it. So this one was actually organized by a band director named Brian Anderson. He was a leader of the consortium, and he asks for this specific piece by Eric Whitacre titled October, and he gives a premiere, and then whoever put in the next money more up the list, they give the second premiere, and it goes down the line until eventually everybody else gets the crumbs, and it gets disseminated among the college world, and it's performed all over. So, but yes, just like this, Brian Anderson's name is attached. So just a little background on how new band music gets released today. So Whitacre, the composer, says that October is his favorite month of the year. He says that something about the crisp autumn air and the subtle changes in light always makes me a little sentimental. As I started to sketch, I felt that same quiet beauty in the writing. So it's a gorgeous piece, beautiful harmonies, very, very nice. So I hope you enjoy it. Here is Eric Whitacre's October. Is it on? Okay. So our next piece is titled Rocky Point Holiday. Now, Rocky Point was an amusement park, and it was in Rhode Island. It was an amusement park in Rhode Island and opened in the late 1800s. And it was actually open until, for about 100 years. It closed down in 1995. This specific piece that we're playing was composed by Ron Nelson in 1968. It was also requested on a consortium. This one was commissioned by Frank Ben Criscudo and the University of Minnesota Band for their tour of Russia. Now, when Frank went to ask Ron Nelson for a composition, he just told him, make the hardest thing you've ever composed. And so Ron asked him, are there any restrictions? Do you have any limits on your band? And he said, no, just go nuts with it. And that's exactly what Rocky Point Holiday is. It's a nuts piece. It is fantastic. It is one of those great band pieces that every musician that ever plays it just falls in love with, and it's just so memorable. It was composed while Nelson was on vacation at a Rhode Island seaside resort in Warwick Neck, Rhode Island. And so it talks about how it was an amusement park. We hope you enjoy it and have fun with it, and applaud very loud for these musicians because they work so hard on this. Thank you. That's fun. That's very fun. Very fun to put together, too. So, Rocky Point Holiday by Ron Nelson. Well, we've come to the end of our program. So, thank you all for being here. Next time, bring more people, bring a friend. If all of you bring one more friend or a family member, hopefully we can fill this up. Because honestly, our community is missing out. You would agree, right? So if you like what you heard, we would kindly take any donations so it helps us to purchase music and, of course, purchase any instruments that we have as well. So over here we have Mrs. Candy Bowman. Candy, say hi. Right there, Mrs. Candy Bowman. So back in the summer, she told me she had a bell, right over there, that bell over there. She said it actually belonged to a ship. I think her husband got it from somewhere, if I'm not mistaken, if I remember correctly. So, I thought, okay, how can we feature a bell? So, of course, the Liberty Bell March by John Philip Sousa. So we're going to conclude our program with John Philip Sousa's The Liberty Bell March. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Good job. Good job.